the last 10 weeks have been interesting, to say the least. What I'd love to start with is just hearing a little bit from your personal mindset. What has been your leadership guiding light that you've used to focus you and I guess guide your leadership style as you've been leading this company over prior to this, but over the last 10 weeks?
Definitely. I think that one of our most important core values is that our employees are our most important asset and our most valuable asset. And so a lot of the work that we've been doing is just starting with how are our people doing as they experience this? And by that, I mean, what are they needing to do to serve our clients, our tenants, the vendors that we work with to carry out a lot of the things on the property? And that's kind of always where we start as a service company is how are our employees doing? Because we believe if we take really good care of them, they're going to do a good job taking care of all of our various people that we're serving. And so, as this thing really started to ramp up, of course, we're thinking about the ramifications to the commercial real estate industry. But I think our first focus was let's take care of our people and make sure that they're equipped to navigate this situation. So, what that meant practically is that luckily, before we actually got to the stay-at-home order from the governor and had to shut down our office, we ran a pandemic prep day
Hmm.
where we took everyone and we actually tried being remote for the first time. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, as a company, we had never done that. We talked a lot about, just kind of in general before any of this started, we talked a lot about does remote work make sense for us? And really, the answer was probably not because we are such a collaborative organization and the way that we do our commercial real estate work is very team oriented, which is somewhat unique in the landscape both here and across the country. But that requires lots of meetings and lots of interpersonal interactions, and people are going out to properties together, and there's just a lot that's done communally and collaboratively. So we couldn't quite get our mind around how we would do remote work, but I think this situation really pushed us to accelerate the logistics of how we would do that and how we would keep people working together. And so we tried it, and luckily it went incredibly smoothly. And we also learned some things that were really important. So I was actually in preparation for this, I was looking back at the calendar, and I think it was the first week in March, we ran our pandemic prep day. And by the second week of March, the entire state was shut down and our office was
Yeah.
closed. So we just kind of slipped it in there before we came to this new reality. But that really made it easier for our employees to be able to go home. They had what they needed in terms of hardware. They'd experienced it. We kind of made a couple iterations. And then, of course, like everyone else, we've had to iterate several more times just to make this
Mhm.
work over the last couple of months. But back to your question, I think we started with our people and made sure they were in good shape. And that's kind of guided us through this so far.
That's great.